It's a scripture that when I first heard it and read it, I just said, "Oh boy, that's cold-blooded." I just couldn't wrap my mind around it. It didn't have any compassion in it. He that hath shall get, and he that hath not, even that he has, shall be taken away. Oh my God. You sing it. He that hath, the person who hath, they will get, and the person who don't have, even that little bit they have, shall be taken away. That doesn't seem right. But there's a question. He that hath what? Vision. People without vision perish. Ambition, drive, a willingness to work, stubbornness, perseverance, faith that roars so loudly it doesn't give you an opportunity to hear the doubts that you have within yourself. You have those qualities, you will get. You have those qualities, you restore everything you lost and more. You have those qualities, angels will make room for you. Come. Let's intervene here, because he won't quit, she won't stop. We've done everything and they won't stop. Come, we got to intervene now. And then let's go find a wimp, somebody who's stopped, somebody who's allowing themselves to be consumed by fear. It's weak. Yeah, because God has not given them a spirit of fear, but of power. They ain't got no power. They're consumed in fear. They can't even think straight. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of a sound mind. This place where you are, where I am, this place, we've been picked out to be picked on. This place, we are more than conquerors. This place is a testimony, no test, no testimony. This place, no guts, no glory. This place, faith not tested, can't be trusted. This faith will find a way. Yeah. We need to know that. We need to saturate ourselves with words that will empower us right now. Our children are watching. Our children are not okay. There's an article, Google it. Our kids are not okay. The suicide rate among children, teenagers, and younger is soaring because they're watching us. See, how we live our lives, Jim Rohn said this, how we live our lives, it can be a warning or an example. Did you hear me? How we live our lives, our children are watching. It will be a warning or an example. A warning of what not to do, or an example of what to do when tragedy and interruptions and crises show up. Therefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, that having done all to stand. This is our time to stand. This is our time to be actively engaged in this thing called life. Our children are watching us. There are generations yet unborn that are depending on us. There are people who gave their lives, like a John Lewis said, create some good trouble. It's our time. It's our time. You have something special. God is on your side. If God is for you, who can be against you? You got a winning team. I'm looking for, and I'm on a mission for people who can hear me. If at some point in time when you're a little kid or a grown person, you're going through some stuff and you heard my voice. And the reason you heard it, because what's in me is also in you. And the reason you responded and came out of the darkness into the light, because there's a calling on you to do the same thing. You and I are cut from the same cloth. You're branches of the same tree. If my message and my method and my approach resonates with you, I'm not talking about my hairstyle. My kid didn't play hairstyle and I'm kid, no. I'm talking about my message. And you have a message in you. You have a story in you. You would like to help people, the millions of people who need to hear a multitude of voices. I want you to put voice in the comment section. Put voice in the comment section. And allow us to introduce you to the Power Voice system that teaches you how to tell your story, that teach you how to create an experience with your voice and your story, to transform people individually and collectively. Allow me to mentor, to coach you, to bring out the greatness in yourself and to bring out the greatness in others. If that's your calling, I love to tell you, and I will always remind you, a job is what you get paid for. A calling is what you're made for. If it's your calling, put voice in the comment section. If you can hear me in your heart, I'm not challenging your ability to hear with your ears, because you wouldn't still be here with me. I don't have any prints translating my words. So if you're still here, the only reason you're listening, because what's in me, it's in you. You and I are cut from the same cloth. We are branches of the same tree. It's time to make a decision. Put voice in the comment section. We don't know how much time we have left, do we? Michael Jackson said, "This is it." And it was. Okay. Put voice in the comment section. Live each day as if it were your last. Because what we learned from the coronavirus, one day it will be. Toby Gatson, we graduated together at Booker T. Washington High School in Miami, 1963. Wow. Classmate had COVID-19 and he kicked COVID's butt. Toby, I'm so happy for you, brother. So happy. Prayed hard for you. But you always been a fighter since we were in high school. Boy, I tell you, you and Larry Littles, who played for the Miami Dolphins. Boy, we went to school. We would miss school because we were characters. We were always clowning. We always wanted to know, what will we do next? We came to see each other for cafeteria and physical education. Oh my goodness. Oh boy, that's back in the day. I hear young people today, these millennials, talking about back in the day. They don't know anything about back in the day. I got t-shirts older than them. But at 75, my goal is to finish strong. At 75, my goal is to train the best speakers on the planet. At 75, my goal is to find people who are hungry to make an impact with their lives, who are hungry to learn how to use and access their power voice, who are hungry to live a life that will outlive them. Yeah, you forget your years will forget you. And I want to leave this with you. As you look at your goals, be stubborn about your goals. Be stubborn. Don't give up on your goals. You will fail your way to success. Don't give up on your goal. Know your vitamin, as Suzanne de Pass would say. Don't give up on your goal. Be stubborn about your goals. Be flexible and versatile. Ask for help. A lot of people won't do that because of ego edging God out, because a lot of people, as a result of pride cometh before a fall. Ask for help. Not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. You don't have to figure it out. Get started. Do what you can with what you have, and God will do what you can. Tell everybody about that event and how successful it was and what you achieved there.
So basically, I had an event called Girl Hold My Hand Winning Weekend, and it was where 30 women qualified to be able to attend the entire weekend. It kicked off Friday. How do most women connect? Through shopping, through having some wine, or dancing and enjoying themselves. So it kicked off Friday with just Stormy's Closet shopping experience, networking, connecting, dancing. I told the DJ, make sure you play some old school music. These women partied like it was 2022, and they was the last day of the year, and they was going into 2023. So Friday was just so much fun. I hadn't danced like I danced on Friday probably in a long time, for real. Saturday, we woke up with meditation and stretching, and we walked the community. It was very, very expensive homes, mansions, $20 million homes, $30 million homes, $40 million homes. So we was able to walk the neighborhood and just, manifest and open up our reticular activating system. And I told all the women to identify their homes, identify the driveway you want, the front door you want, the backyard you want, just identify the color, find your house and literally walk the neighborhood and put it together so that you can start to believe that you can have. And so we had an incredible walk through the neighborhood. We walked through the neighborhood for 1 hour. Then we got back in the house and we went around the pool and we had a barbecue and we connected with each other, and it was content day, content, connection, and communication day. So that day was designed for you to meet at least 3 powerful women, create new relationships, new sisters that you could possibly create long-term relationships with, women that can open doors for you. And Saturday we ended with very deep conversations about the things that you must do to get out of your head and into your life. I had some powerful guest women that came. I had Natasha Main, the Vogue attorney. She is a very, very powerful, prominent divorce attorney. She was there. She was able to impart into the women. I had Tammy Price, who is one of my millionaire students, who was able to go from homeless to 7 figures plus, in just 1 year. She was one of the guests that was there. She's actually the woman, I don't know if you saw the video, that has gone bonkers all over the world, gone viral. I also had Natalie, not Natalie, but I had Annetta Powell there. Annetta Powell is my angel. She is someone who does big things in the real estate market industry. She's an investor. She owns tax businesses. She was able to impart in the women. I had Tina. Tina owns 8 Wingstop franchises. She was the first woman to open up a Wingstop franchise in Florida, and she now owns 8. And then I had Tamika Mallory, who was there as a civil rights activist. She worked for Al Sharpton for 14 years in parts. And Claudine Hibbert, who was a successful realtor and an investor, she was there. So it was a powerful weekend with powerful women. And then Sunday we partied. We went on a yacht, my yacht. It was a beautiful experience. I was able to take the women on my yacht. We went on the water, we jet skied, we swam, we partied, we ate, we danced. We just enjoyed each other's company. So it was a very powerful weekend that was designed to inspire and to help them to elevate mentally. I believe that the highest human act is inspiration. And so they left that weekend very inspired. And it was only for people either in my community or people that were coming to impart.
Well, the thing that you did with them is so important because I used to drive all over Miami Beach and Miramar and Coral Gables and Fort Lauderdale, looking at beautiful mansions and imagining myself being in them, not just cleaning them as I did when I went with my mama. and what it does, it's in alignment with what we're taught. I'll give you all your eyes can see. And that experience that you provided for women with Girl Hold My Hand expands their vision. And as you said, activate the reticular activating system in their brain. It's a group-like cells at the base of the brain that filters what gets through, what danger there might be, and what's important to you. And it peaks the level of awareness. And it's really a success mechanism that when you're focused, and that's why our conversation is about stay focused and keep it moving. When you are focused, what it does, it allows you to see things that the masses can't see because they're caught up in the distractions. And when you're on this path, things happen. And there always will be distractions. That's a part of the process. That's why they call this the attention economy. And that's why alcoholism has increased in the United States and around the world. And the suicide rate has increased because people are focused more on their problems rather than on solutions, on what is it I need to do? Who is it I need to be that can move my life forward? And here's the thing about it. You're making impact with women from all walks of life around the world. And when you do that, and I want people to listen to what I'm about to say, you're going to get some pushback. You're going to have some critics. And here's the thing about critics. There's never been a statue erected to a critic. Now, I saw you talking to this lady about what she was eating, and she obviously was where I was. I used to be on a seafood diet. That everything I saw, I ate it. And I saw you licking your fingers and everything. I said, you know what? I was salivating. I said, that's got to be some good chicken up in here. And what I know is that the kind of work that you're doing with women, oddly enough, we need more of that because the kind of work that you're doing will allow us to create a new kind of culture. And nobody else is doing what it is that you're doing, exposing people to a larger vision of themselves. And I like for Vanessa to cue up the promotional video, because if she can play it, I like for people to see what that experience was and how when people would come and see the excitement in their eyes. I wanted to put on one of my sister, Margaret Ann Sampson. I'm not going to tell you her name. I threatened to put on one of my sister's wigs and put a scarf around my face and get a pair of your shoes, put some Vaseline in those shoes and push my feet in them and sneak up in there. I wanted to come. You said, no, this is for women only. And I think that the more communities that are created around values, around things that you believe in, around dreams, around content that can give you methods and techniques on how to create the next greatest version of yourself, around the relationships that you can build, collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships that will allow you to begin to put your success on steroids. The more events that we have of that nature, we can begin to become the dominant culture rather than the smaller culture. I strongly believe the world exists as it does because people of darkness and evil, they work harder than people who are doing some good work. And you're doing some good work, and your goal is to multiply the voices, multiply the level of consciousness, and help people to know and to believe and discover the truth about themselves. As Bob Proctor would say, you were born rich. When I think about your background and the experience that you came from, you decided that where you were was not going to be your destiny. So I want you to talk about the dramatic, radical change that took place in Stormy, that when you looked at yourself one day, a moment, and you said to that person that was looking back at you, this is not me. I've got to do something differently. Let's talk about that moment.
You know, to be honest with you, like I've had several of those moments. I call them my defining moments.
Yes.
And I remember one of the moments, I was probably around 13 years old. And it just came to my mind. I remember telling my mom that I'm so inspired by you. And I remember her that day getting excited. And I was like, no, Mom, I'm inspired not to be like you. And
hold on, okay, you can't run past that like that. Don't go crash. Come on, hold it. Pump your brakes, my sister. Pump your brakes. You said, I'm inspired by you. And she was excited. Mm-hmm. And then what did you say?
I told her that I was inspired not to be like her. And I knew it was going to hurt her feelings. But my dad used to always teach me when I was a little girl, tough love. Tough love just does something to you. And most people learn through tough love than through soft love. And I knew it was going to piss her off, but I wanted her to make a change. And when I say I wanted her to make a change, my mom used to be a drug dealer, and my mom used to use the drugs she sold. And I remember we had a Jack and Jill bathroom where it was my room, the bathroom, and her room. And my mom smoked cigarettes, and she smoked weed, and she smoked crack. And I was 13 years old, and I would know the difference between how she was smoking, when she was smoking weed, when she was smoking cigarettes, and when she was smoking crack, because the flick sound of the lighter. One flick was a cigarette. 2 flicks was the weed. Multiple flicks was crack.
Whoa.
So I used to know what she was doing by the flicks. That's why to this very day, I don't like to hear the flick of a lighter, because it reminds me, it triggers that time in my life when my mom was on crack. So I remember telling her at 13 years old that I'm inspired not to be like you. And my mom later on told me that because I shared with her that I knew the difference between weed, crack, and cigarettes. That was the day she quit smoking. That was the day she quit smoking crack, because of that tough love I gave her. So I grew up understanding tough love. I grew up having tough love from my dad, tough love from my mom, and it helped me to become the woman I am today. And so I'm hard on myself, and I'm very tough on the people around me, because I never transformed through soft love, and the people around me never transformed through soft love. It was always the tough love. And so I could also remember my defining moment. It was about 2013. I was probably 60 pounds heavier. I had just given birth to my son, and I didn't realize that after I had lost my mom took her last breath as I was holding her hand. I didn't realize that it took me to a very dark place. I didn't know my mom was dying. August 26th of 2011, I watched her take her last breath, and she passed away. And for the first 90 days, I was strong. I was fighting. I was doing my thing. And literally like 90 days later, I went through a depression. I was depressed for 3.5 years. And in that depression, I got married. In that depression, I went from making $80,000 a month to literally applying for food stamps. And I moved into this really dark house. It had dark furniture, dark walls, no light would come in. I had a Porsche Panamera at the time. I couldn't afford to pay the car note on the Panamera. The check engine light would come on all the time. So I remember putting a sticky note over the check engine light, because I just couldn't look at the check engine light. And I used to wake up every day, and I used to think, man, I'm just waking up on the wrong side of the bed. And I remember one day I went to church, right? And the pastor was just talking about just the relationship with yourself and how you got to make powerful decisions versus popular decisions. And I remember in that moment, I came home, and when I went home that day, I went home realizing that something was significantly wrong with me. I no longer was willing to accept the fact that I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. At this point, I had gotten married to someone that I would have never married. I had no friends, no family around. I literally isolated myself. And long story short, I remember reading this book called The Magic of Believing by John Carlyle Bristol.
Bristol,
and
yes.
John Claude Bristol. And in that book, he talked about the mirror technique. And I was desperate. I had prayed, I fasted. At this point in my life, I wouldn't curse. I would wear, shirts up to here. I wouldn't show no legs, no cleavage. I was very conservative. I was in church on Wednesday. I was in church on Saturday, helping clean up. I was in church on Sunday. Like, I was a very holier than thou church girl in church every day.
Okay, but I want you to pause for a moment. You made a lot of money and you lost it. How did you lose it?
I lost my mind. When I lost my mom, I lost myself. So after I lost my mom, I didn't have it no more. A piece of me was taken. Yes. And I was depressed for 3.5 years after I had lost my mom.
How did you make the money that you earned? What did you do? What was the profession or the business that you were involved in?
Multi-level marketing. My claim to fame came through distribution and multi-level marketing.
Yes, interactive distribution. Fantastic. And so you had lost your mind, and now there you are spiraling from depression of losing your mother, and your life is just a wreck. So how did you get back on track? How did you get back on the path to become the Stormy that we see now?
So I read the book, The Magic of Believing. I did the fast, and I did the praying, I did the no cursing, I did the no clubbing, I did the just really in the Bible. I would read the book of Proverbs every day, 31 Proverbs, 31 days, like, listen. And after reading The Magic of Believing, I'm like, I gotta figure this out. And I remember reading a passage in the book that talked about the mirror technique. And it talked about how you go in the mirror, you just have an experience with yourself. And so one day I'm like, I'm already down. What's the worst case scenario? So I went in the bathroom and I locked the door, and I just went in the mirror and I looked deep into my soul, and I had a serious discussion with myself. I looked at myself and I'm like, what happened to you? You're fat, you're broke, you don't have no friends, you live in this house that it looks horrible. And I had lost myself. But in that moment, I like cursed myself out. I'm like, what's going on with you? I'm cursing myself out in this mirror. And I decided to leave myself in the bathroom, my old self in the bathroom that day. And I remember crying, tears coming out down my eyes, snot coming out of my nose. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I curse lesbrown. I call myself every B, every stupid, every name that you can think about. I call myself every name. And I decided that I was not going to be the same woman that walked in the bathroom that walked out. And when I walked out of that bathroom, it's like, for real, it's like the scales was removed from my eyes. And I'm like, what am I doing with this man? How did I marry this guy? Oh my God. I started opening the blinds. I'm like, this house is dark. Why is this house dark? I started opening the blinds. I went in the refrigerator. I'm looking at the food. It was margaritas. At the time, the strawberries, margaritas. I had old, what is that place called? Old Chipotle in the refrigerator. Like, I'm looking at my house. My car was dirty. My closet was dirty. Everything was dirty. I just saw everything. And I just started cleaning up everything. I opened up the windows, turned on some music, opened up the windows, the blinds, and I just started like literally repairing my life. After I had realized 3.5 years later what I had done to myself. I really did not realize what I had done to myself.
It's amazing how we experience things and people handle things differently. But that moment, you said the woman who went in the bathroom, you left her in there and you came out, and this person emerged, and you begin to continue to pursue in the area of self-development. And you have built an incredible community of Girl Hold My Hand, and you've impacted women and men around the world. I want you to think about any goal that you want to achieve, anything that you want to achieve. I want you to think about it right now. And part of what I want you to do, I want you to visualize the goal being accomplished. They asked Muhammad Ali, who said, "I'm the greatest. How did you get here?" Howard Cosell, who since passed, he was a sports personality, and he said, "How did you get here, Muhammad? How did you know you could dominate boxing?
He said, I got here when I was running 5 o'clock in the morning, shadow boxing on a punching bag. I got here. I visualized myself speaking to the news conferences and celebrating my wins. And I got here long before I danced under the lights. That he saw it. He saw it. I got here because I visualized myself being on major stages. I saw myself speaking in major venues, and I held that vision and I took action. I've been recounting my steps. When my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I just got elected for the 3rd time to the Ohio legislature from the 29th House District, I resigned to go back to Miami to take care of my mother. I promised her she would never go to a nursing home. I want you to think about something that drives you, something that compels you. Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. And so I resigned from the Ohio legislature. I was the chairman of the Human Resource Committee, the Education Committee. I had a promising political career. I enjoyed politics, but I loved my mama. And I promised her, Mama, when you need me, I'll be here. And so I resigned and went back to take care of Mama. And I had to find something to do. And I had to find something that was me. Now, mind you, I don't have a college education. Okay. I never worked for a major corporation. And I wanted to speak and motivate and help people and speak for major corporations like Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Zig Ziglar and Tom Peters and all the other people that I saw out there, Tony Robbins. And I'm encouraging you to take action. I saw this guy named Ed Foreman from Executive Development. He's since retired. He came to Miami and he spoke. And he was offering the program for people who had an interest in motivational speaking, that he had this special class that he was going to be doing. And it was a boot camp. It was an intensive. And so after his presentation, I said, man, I sure like to come, but I can't afford to do it now. And he said something to me that I will always cherish. He said, if you can't afford to do it now, you can't afford not to do it. Whoa. He said, how are you going to teach people how to make things happen if you can't make things happen? That cut wide and deep. I say, I'll see you in Dallas. So I didn't have the money to get a plane ticket. So I had my mama to fix me some food. So she fixed me a sweet potato pie. I found out how much it would cost to go to Dallas from Miami on Greyhound. She fixed me a pot of marinated frog legs. If you never had frog legs, let me tell you something up in here. Really, they taste like chicken, all right? I was on that bus exchanging frog legs and slices of sweet potato pie for pork chop sandwiches and collard greens and candy yams. Oh, we had a party. We were singing songs. We had a party on that bus going from Miami to, to Dallas, Texas. By the time we got there, they called me Frog Man. I took action. There's some of you who want to do what I do, who want to speak. And let me share something that I've learned from Corona. If there's something you want to do, take action. Do it now. Had a friend that was sick, and I kept saying, I'm going to see him. And he passed. I didn't take action. Had the opportunity to do it, but I did not take action. See, this thing called life, we don't know what's going to happen from one moment to the next. And we know that. We've had the rug snatched out from under us. If there's something in your heart that you want to do, listen to me. Do it now. Miles Monroe, let me tell you, one of the most profound statements I enjoyed hearing him say, rob the cemetery of your gifts, of your dreams, of your talents, of your art, of your book, of your leadership. Rob the cemetery. Don't take that stuff with you to the grave. And I want you to write this down. Resilient, purpose-driven mindset. Resilient, purpose-driven mindset. That with all the stuff that's going on, with all of the confusion from the scientific community, from the leadership, from the presidency on down, it has collateral effect. And there are so many people that's confused. You wear the mask or you don't have to wear the mask. Or if you have the coronavirus, you need to wear the mask so you don't give it to somebody else. And if you have it, you should stay in the house. They got all kind of things. If you make love, you should have the mask on. That is not romantic to me. You know, I say, wait a minute, y'all coming all up in the bedroom. Okay, baby, put your mask on. Well, how am I gonna kiss you with my mask on? Oh, behave, whatever. But all kind of confused, you know, all this stuff going on. And you could die from talking to somebody with a mask that's held under their nose. You know why my hair is like it and I'm looking like Kid and play like Kid from House Party? Because my barber, he likes to wear his mask like this. I said, man, put your mask on, all right? I told him. So he does this. Man, hey, hello. Habla español, English? What? Come on. Have I told? Put your mask on, cover your mouth. I know your breath kicking like Bruce Lee, but cover the nose too. It's, I mean, about to make me lose my mind over this. So I decided I'm not going through that. I'm not going through that. I'm not coming out the house till 2027. And I work on myself. I got some new squirrel friends. I'm bilingual. I speak squirrely. And I listen to motivational messages first thing in the morning. You want to listen to my voice. Go on YouTube. Find Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. Find Les Brown. It's possible. And I tell the story about the bamboo tree. Find Les Brown getting unstuck. And I talk about Chicken Man. Listen to things. Listen to me. Listen to things that can build your mental resiliency. You want to have a resilient, purpose-driven mindset that will focus your mind on the goals that you want to achieve, on the things that you need to do to reinvent yourself, to rethink your life, to see whether or not you're on the path to becoming the next greatest version of yourself. And in order to get through this time, I mean, sometimes I when I wake up in the morning, I said, this is still not a dream. This is crazy. People say, I'd like to come by and see you. Is that right? Okay, I'm on the first floor. We can talk through the window. Come on. I mean, just think about this. Every day when I see people with masks on looking outside my window, seeing the squirrels jumping from one tree to the other, they never lose their footing. That's why I learned squirrely. Tyrone, he's leading everybody. He's introducing everybody to me. He's the most motivated squirrel in my neighborhood. Les Brown is about to do his StreamYard or another Zoom. My kids say I've been in the house too long. I'm suffering from cabin fever. Whatever. So read 30 to 40 pages of something positive every day. Drill yourself. You say, well, I've listened to it. No. Listen to it until you're manifesting results. Faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. So in order to develop that resilient, purpose-driven mindset, you want to listen to the messages over and over, take notes on things that jumps out for you, and become the embodiment of it. and develop that kind of mindset and how you carry yourself and how you face this thing called life. Faith not tested can't be trusted. So you got to have faith in yourself. But we're being tested right now. If you've never been tested, listen to me. No test, no testimony. Faith not tested can't be trusted. It's easy to have faith when things are going great. When the kids are acting like they have good sense. When you have a job, you have money, you have your health. Oh, no big deal there. But when life knocks on the door, when you go through some stuff, when you get a bad diagnosis, that's when you have to pull on your faith. That's when you have to be resilient. I've got a saying, and all of you know it. Life knocks you down, try and land on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. Now, here's the other thing that's very important. As you look at yourself, you want to master at least three things, multiple streams of income. Three things: I speak, I train speakers, and I'm an author. And I got other things I'm expanding, and I'm 75. Well, why are you still doing it? Because you're never too old to learn, and you're never too young to teach. I believe that the reason that we look at people over a certain age, at Alzheimer's and dementia becomes active, is because they are inactive. My mother used to say it, if you don't use it, you lose it. It takes longer to wear out than to rust out. So the goal is to be actively engaged in life, raising the bar on yourself. Turn down the amount of time that you spend entertaining yourself, watching the television, as my daughter, Dr. Ona Brown, would say, and do things that will stimulate your thinking. It will keep you young. Just because you're 75, chronologically don't mean that you have to look 75. No. And so I decided, just because I'm 75, you're not going to count me out. I'm still here. I'm going to be engaged in this thing called life because I have not done my best work yet. You have not done your best work yet. Every day is the best day of your life, as Orrin Hudson would say out of Atlanta, the chess master. Why? Because if you don't believe that, try missing a day. Every day is the best day of your life. Look for ways in which you can begin to master something, learn something today that you did not know yesterday. Expand your horizon, expand your vision of what's possible for you. Continuously be a student. My high school theme was, you never find out how much you know until you find out how little you know. Study. The people that are going to make it today are looking at the various trends. They're going from mindset mastery, learning 3 things that they can master to create non-performance income. And they're studying continuously, learning things that they can get at the end of their fingertips on the internet. There's no excuse. no excuse today for not being in the mindset of achieving something beyond that which you have already done. Life is an adventure. Helen Keller said life is either a daring adventure or it's boring. And this is an exciting time that you can earn money at the comfort of your home. Think about that. Virtually around the world. I just finished talking to some people in Germany. And then I talked to some people in Toronto, Canada. I'm making money around the world and I'm still home, virtually. Take advantage of this. This is something you want to learn, mindset mastery and skill set mastery of the internet. Now here's something else. You have to, as you look at yourself, look at your goals, look at your dreams, not only is a resilient, purpose-driven mindset important. I want you to think about your life right now. I was reflecting on when I decided to become a professional speaker. I looked at my life and I just said, you know what? I want to do more. I want more. I want more for myself, my family, my mother, and I want to be in charge of my own destiny. And what I was doing at that time was not providing that. And it got to a point, I don't know whether or not you've ever been there, that just doing something 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, just to pay the bills, to keep a roof over my head, and for transportation and food on the table, it just didn't get it. I mean, if you can understand how I felt, it just didn't get it. I didn't find that fulfilling. One, I was doing something that wasn't me. And I was doing something to survive. What it takes to live versus what it takes to survive are two different things. And so here's what I realized, that if you're not willing to take a chance on you, if you're not willing to learn something and reach beyond your comfort zone so that you can explore some other possibilities for yourself, you'll never discover the greatness that you have within yourself to do more, to have more, and to experience more. So I wanted to see what else was out there for me other than what I was doing at the time. I was a salesperson at Sears, and they said, if you're the top salesperson, that you will get a promotion to be the sales manager. Well, I was the top salesperson for 6 months in a row, and they told me they couldn't promote me. I said, no, don't say you couldn't, just say you won't promote me. Well, they said, well, the reason is it will lower morale. Lower morale? Yes. Everybody in that area there would be very upset. I was the only raisin in a glass of milk, if you know what I mean. I said, what? I said, come on, you gotta be kidding me. No. We would love to give you the promotion. I said, excuse me, don't use the word give. I've earned this. 6 months in a row, I've earned this. You said, if you're the top performer, you will be selected for manager. Now you're changing the rules. Now I had a choice. They said I would lower morale. So I took a chance on me. I wonder what happened to the morale when the top performer left. And they had the unmitigated gall to ask me to train the people that they were going to put over me. I said, hello, do I look like Mr. Buckethead? No. Be a team player. No. You know, some people got nerve. You know what I mean? They got nerve up in here, up in here. I said, I got to do something that puts me in charge. If you want to be in charge of your life, but
But I'm working from home now. This is what I do. When I'm not talking to you, you know what I'm doing? I'm speaking to corporations. I'm speaking to organizations. I'm speaking to different groups of people who want to be motivated and inspired, and helping them to create a sense of engagement and unification, even though they're separate geographically. And I'm doing that from the comfort of my home. I teach people how to use this computer to bring their personality through, their passion and their energy through, to create a significant emotional event. See, the reason I have the advantage of doing this than the average person, because I was in radio for many years. I couldn't see the people that I was talking to, and you do it after a certain period of time. You develop some skills intuitively that you know when you're connecting with people. And so that has given me a competitive edge, being in radio for so many years. That's why I'm teaching people now how to do virtual seminars and workshops now, and be successful at it. I'm successful at this, and one of the top impactful speakers doing this because of my background. Do something beyond your comfort zone. Learn something new so you can see what's in you. You got some more stuff back there, but you'll never find out what it is if you don't test yourself. And I was seeing these people speaking everywhere, and I said, I'm gonna put myself to the test. I look at them, they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like I do. And so part of the whole process, because I was listening to motivational messages on a regular basis and I was getting fired up. Now, write this down. The people that are going to make it now, the people that are going to take advantage of this breakthrough. Listen, we work hard for where we are right now. Don't sleep this period now. Good times, they have an expiration date. Bad times, they have an expiration date. We just came through something. With the election of 2 senators, the scale has tilted. The force of evil has been subdued. Listen what I said. Not destroyed, but subdued. It will raise its ugly head again. So you want to maximize this time. You want to milk this moment. You want to make your move right now. And one of the things that I do, and I encourage my kids to do, when I make some money, I operate like I don't have a dime. Like I don't have a dime. I start working harder. And this is what you have to do. The people that are going to be successful are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. What is it that most people won't do? Here's what they won't do. Learn something new. They're comfortable with what they're doing now. Well, I've been doing this for a long time. So learn something new. If you're not willing to learn anything new, no one can help you. But if you're willing to learn something new, like I decided to do this, no one can stop you. I'm my own boss. I call my own shots. And I'm not saying this to you to impress you, but to impress upon you that you got it like that too. And that's why I'll train you how to do that, how to use your voice, how to use your gift of gab, how to use your knowledge and your skills. People with knowledge and skills are working for corporations. You need to learn how to work for yourself from home virtually and control your own destiny. Be your own boss. That's what time it is. Here's something else. I discourage you. Don't do this if you're not hungry. Did you hear what I just said? Now, I just told you you ought to do this, right? And then right after that, come on, Les, what are you saying now? You're telling me don't do it if, yes, if you're not hungry. If you're going to make it today, you got to be hungry. The 47 million people are going to lose their jobs from artificial intelligence. Millions of people have lost their jobs because of coronavirus. You think you're the only one out here? No.
It's a different market right now. It's different. There are people that are desperate, going through foreclosures and evictions, lost their jobs, lost their businesses. So the people that are going to come out on top, the people that will snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, they're hungry. When I came out here, I was hungry. I got 5 sons and 5 daughters and a mother that I want to take care of and buy a home for. You got to be hungry. People that are hungry are relentless. You got to get your hustle on. People that are hungry are the first ones there and the last ones to leave. Most people not hungry. Most people are conditioned to do just enough to keep from getting fired, working in an environment where they've been paid just enough to keep from quitting. It takes some time to step out of that mental conditioning. People that are hungry, when I worked for WVKO, I was the program director. I was news director. I was manager of station operation. I did commercials. I did editorials. I did a talk show, The Voice of the People. Whole lot of stuff that they didn't pay me for. Why, Les? Because I wanted to learn. I wanted to make myself indispensable. That's why. That's why I did it. I wanted to make myself more valuable and increase my value for the operation. You have to have that kind of attitude about life. That are you increasing your value every day? If you were on the stock market, would you invest in you? Most people have to say no. Why? They're not reading anything. They're not learning anything new. They're operating within their comfort zone, and they're praying every day that they don't lose a job that they hate. That's what you call mixed emotions. See somebody you hate drive off a cliff in your car. You're glad they're gone, but not in your car. Oh, behave, hello, whatever. No, it's a different place now. You got to be hungry. You have to get your stuff together. Average is over. The being average, doing just enough to get by, no. And when I talk to people, I can ask a certain question. I can tell the hungry ones and the ones who are slackers. And they're everywhere, the pigeons. See, today, employers are looking for eagles. You go outside right now and see some pigeons, but it's going to take a minute to see some eagles because they fly high. This is what time it is. And when you look at yourself, look at your goals, look at your dreams, this time demands that you get outside of your comfort zone. This time requires that you invest in you. That's what I was willing to do. The people that will be successful are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. People who are not successful have large television screens, and people who are successful have large libraries. Hello? Oh, people who are hungry are willing to discipline themselves. They're willing to dedicate themselves to learn something different. See, anything can be mastered if you're willing to put in the time and put in the effort and focus yourself on learning how to do that to make yourself stand out. In the attention economy, this is the attention economy. You got to make yourself stand out. Yes. You just can't mosey through this time and think you're going to get some customers. So you have to think in terms of market takeaway. What value are you bringing that's superior to everybody else? You've got to operate out of the thinking of Henry David Thoreau. Do not go where the path may lead. Go where there's no path and leave a trail. You got to set a new standard.